Logan with Me and McGee Market, and there is a lot to talk about when it comes to mushrooms. We're going to talk about eating them, how to cook with them, and some of the health benefits. All right, let's get into mushrooms. So first thing, Evan Nichols with Plethora Fungi, he has got us hooked up. He's our mushroom grower at the market and brought out one of the blocks that he uses to grow them. So I thought this was pretty cool. Wanted to share with us on that whole process, and eventually we'll go out and see the thousands of bags that he's got and more of the stages. But I wanted to have that out here so you could see. We're gonna go through each individual kind and how I use them at home. So you may not really like mushrooms and you think of a portobello or cremini or a canned mushroom. So I do like those. My least favorite is going to be the shiitake. So if you've already got it in your mind that you don't like mushrooms, you may be thinking of some of the other kinds. So the shiitake, it's okay. It's definitely not my favorite. My absolute favorite is going to be the king trumpet. So the king trumpet has so many uses. So let's start with that and how we do it. This little end is probably fine, perfectly fine. But for some reason, I just like to cut that off. So I cut that off and it leaves a flat surface. So probably my favorite recipe is going to be a scallop type that we do. And so you just cut these little medallion shapes, just like that. Put it in skillet with some butter. One trick that some chefs will do is they'll take and they score it. And what that'll do is it opens up as it cooks and gives you those marks, and that's pretty cool. Another thing is the king trumpet or king oyster also makes a pulled pork substitute. So you take the fork, and you just go across it. And that will pull it apart. You just keep going, and then it turns into a shredded ball of goodness. Something that you can do to help out a little bit is get some like tongs and squeeze the end with tongs because it gets a little bit slippery out of your hands. And this shredded part is you'll take it and you put it in a skillet. Get it, start cooking a little bit. I always use butter with that. And then your favorite barbecue sauce. We use the Hoff and Pepper. You can make your own for like a keto version that we've done with ketchup and barbecue or yacon syrup. And that does really well. So that's two ways of using the king trumpet. Another thing is just in soups. You can just dice it up, use it in soups. It's fantastic. So that has that seafood taste, the king trumpet, but this is also a blue oyster that is going to have along the line. So this one does have the shortest shelf life of the ones that we carry, and they will get these little edges that kind of fall, they crack a little bit. They're still okay. You can cut those off, and it's not a problem. But I'm going to show you how I use these. This block, like that, is how it will either grow either on top of the bag, or they cut little slits into where it grows on the side of the bags, and you remove this whole thing off. So that's why it has these little spots on there. But what you can do is get right here at the base and cut off one of the mushrooms. So this stem part, we remove that. So this is actually, we're done with that. And you've got this little mushroom. So I typically take them and cut them in just little slivers. Sure, there's thousands of ways to do that. Take this, butter, always butter, and a little garlic, saute it up, divine. Great for like a stir fry, a fried rice, something like that. Add a little bit of what you would have in meat. So we've got the king trumpet, super easy, so many uses, my favorite. Then the blue oyster, great taste. Does not taste anything like a mushroom that you would think of. All right, this bad boy right here is the lion's mane. So the lion's mane is used a lot as a supplement for thinking, the concentration, the mind, cognitive function, so it's really cool. But what I get excited about is eating it. So what I'll do with a lot of these is, and now if you can see it, they will break apart. They kind of look like a brain or a cauliflower. I will take these and I cut like wedges. So just go down, and they fall apart a little bit. That's fine. Looks like cauliflower. But these little wedges, you put in a skillet dry, and for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and it's in your skillet, and it is going to remove some of that moisture. So you start dry saute, then butter. Again, butter. And then it has a crab-like taste to it when you cook it like that. Really cool. So there's some recipes out there for crab cakes. Lots of different things that you can do with the lion's mane too. But that gives us some of these goodies. Gives you some ideas on how to do those. All right. So we've got lion's mane, king trumpet, blue oyster, and these, the pioppino. This is a really neat one in that you can eat this stem too. So I'm going to cut off a little bigger one to show you. Again, it's grown the same way I showed you on those bags. And you remove that whole clump, and then you cut off that really kind of crummy looking end. So this, the pioppino, eat the whole thing. This stalk, when you cook it, is kind of the texture of a asparagus that's not mushy, like a grilled asparagus. Really good flavor. So it is good to chop up in the kind of the smaller pieces, saute it off a little bit, and put in like a chili. That has been my favorite way. Roasting it with whatever your favorite seasoning is also really good. The cap is edible. The whole stem is edible. Delicious little Italian mushroom. And then we've got the shiitake. There's thousands of recipes out there. Really good in the stir fries. I like it. But when it comes to the other types of mushrooms, highly recommend this bad boy. I always go back to it. It's my favorite. So many uses. This cap is absolutely edible, but the stem gives you either the pulled pork or the scallop medallion types. Now that we've learned a lot about mushrooms, we're going to head over to the Pantry in West Little Rock and see how Chef Titus uses Evans mushrooms. All right, here at the German exquisite restaurant, the Pantry, with my buddy Chef Titus.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, buddy. I'm glad to be here. Excited to be here. Mushrooms are our theme for sure, but wanted to highlight you and the Pantry and everything y'all have got going on. And found out you're from El Dorado.
El Dorado, baby, South Arkansas.
That's about as south as it gets.
Oh yeah, I mean, people are definitely shocked when I tell them, I'm from El Dorado. I'm not from Germany. I'm not from Europe. I'm about 2 hours that way.
Yeah.
So,
Arkansas boy making some really good German, rustic European
rustic
food.
European, yes. Like I said, we got a little blend of everything. We got some German influence. We got some Czech influence. We got American influence. We got burgers. We got lasagna. But we also have some dishes that we use these local mushrooms for. So, and that's what we're here for. So.
I think that's something I really enjoy about food, is it can be a melting pot of influences. And, and that's really cool. And with that farm to table aspect, because it's really important for me and McGee to use local ingredients, but to be able to highlight some restaurants that are in that same flow, so to speak. So tell me why you like using local ingredients.
Well, I mean, number one, local ingredients, it supports, families here in Arkansas, You can always buy it from the different vendors and all that, but if you can get a great product, and get it local, I mean, why would you not?
Why not? Yeah.
So I mean, it's Arkansas, you know.
Yeah.
I know sometimes our growing weather season is not as great, but hey,
We have seasons.
yes, we have
In Arkansas,
seasons.
we definitely have
We
seasons.
got
About
seasons.
8 of them in a given year.
And sometimes it happens in 1 week.
That's
so I mean,
right.
but I mean, it's no reason not to go with local ingredients when you can go with local ingredients and they be very affordable.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, the more people that use it, the more people that grow it, the more affordable it gets.
Yes.
And so in this, I wanted you to be able to take something that we have absolutely fallen in love with, mushrooms, especially the hardwood gourmet mushrooms, so shiitake, lion's mane, oyster, those kind, and make something that tastes really good. We gonna be able to do that?
Oh yeah. You know, mushrooms are so versatile that you can do many different things with them. And I got a few things that I got going on in the kitchen that you're gonna be surprised of what I can do with mushrooms. So, you know, it's gonna be a fun experience and we're gonna have a little fun today. Today we're going to be going back using some mushrooms from the Plethora Fungi Mushroom Farm. I'm going to be making a mushroom ragu on top of polenta with a little bit of fresh arugula. All right, we're going to start with a little olive oil. We're going to do that part right there. We're going to add some onions, some carrots. We're going to kind of let that cook down a little bit, and we're going to let that sweat a little bit in order to release some of the flavors. We're going to add a little mushroom stock that I made from the stems of the mushrooms, and so that way we can cook those carrots and onions. Once we get those carrots cooked and those onions going, we're gonna add those mushrooms, let it cook down, add some fresh herbs that I got from Arkansas Natural Produce, and throw a little garlic in there. And once it's all done, we're gonna finish it with a little bit of mustard. And the tricky part to the mustard is, it makes it a little bit creamy, and this dish will be vegan and vegetarian. There's many types of mushrooms now. And some of the local ones, the lion's manes, the POPO mushrooms, the lion's manes, they absorb a lot of flavor. And like, you can put a great stock or whatever, and it will absorb that flavor. The texture on those a little bit, you know, like softer than say a shiitake, which a lot of people are very familiar with shiitakes, you know. We use shiitake mushrooms in our goat cheese flatbread, which is a very popular dish. It's one of our vegetarian dishes, and we also have a mushroom app that we put an egg on top, and once you crack that egg on there, you know, egg yolks makes the mushrooms very creamy.
This ragu is absolutely amazing. Love what they're doing at the pantry. Incorporating mushrooms in our regular diet is something that I really try to do that a lot with Lander. I'm going to show you why we do that as we learn more about the nutritional components of mushrooms. Let's talk about more of the health side of mushrooms. All right, so we eat a lot of mushrooms, and one of the biggest reasons for that is that it gives us a lot of minerals and vitamins and fiber, protein, lower in fat, just lower in calories. It's a great, great meat substitute. So from a dietary perspective, it's really beneficial. With that, the immune system is such a key focus for us with Lander in that when he was undergoing chemo and radiation, it just zaps it. So what could, if anything, I do to help him? And so in researching all of that, mushrooms popped up over and over and over and over in different ways of boosting the immune system. That really big part of it is the microbiome. And so the mushrooms, the different mushrooms have got different polysaccharides and fiber and things that feed the good bacteria in your gut. And with that, that boosts the immune system, because the immune system is really, the majority of it housed in our gastrointestinal tract. So that's really important to have a good, strong microbiome. You can do that in different ways, but just eating it is a very simple way to accomplish those goals. All of the different types of mushrooms have got a little bit different variation or maybe a unique compound to them. So things like the lion's mane, the king's trumpet, shiitake, even more the medicinal ones like the reishi or even a chaga. So how we get those is most of the time in supplements or drink form. So Four Sigmatic has got ones that have lion's mane or chaga or reishi in it, or there's supplements that have got in capsules, and even powders that you can mix and get in there. So lots of different supplements. Four Sigmatic also does a coffee that you put in there like your ground coffee. You run it and it has the extracts in there that are included. That's a super easy way. Sometimes I'll take a pack and just put it in my coffee that I'm drinking for the day, and gives you a stronger coffee and really good. Want to hit on the reishi component because that is something that's come up a lot and is even an approved therapy for cancer patients in Japan. So I thought that was really cool. If you follow along, like in our blog or YouTube videos, I will put links to these studies. Always researching that, and I want to share the factual links in the study because I'm not the expert when it comes to that, but I do want to create the awareness to where that other people have access to it, because right here may hold some major keys in our fight against cancer. And so we want to stay on top of any of the new research that comes out, always putting that on the blog post. We will continue shooting these type of videos, housing the products in Lander's Corner at the market, and bringing on experts to tell us a lot more. All right, I hope learning the different types of mushrooms, different ways to cook them, visiting with Chef Titus at the Pantry, and then learning more about the medicinal and health benefits of eating mushrooms are something you really enjoyed. Like and subscribe to the channel. Click that little bell to ring it with us for battling cancer. Thanks for watching.